Beloved NBC series Good Girls was recently canceled by the network, and it's left fans devastated. The show was on its way to film the 5th season when it was unexpectedly canceled around late June this year. But there may have been a deeper reason for its cancellation than just lack of ratings. Today, we'll be talking about the cancellation of the NBC show Good Girls and the real reason for it. NBC cancels Good Girls. In late May, fans and viewers were put at ease when rumors of a renewed but shortened 5th season for NBC's Good Girls started circulating. This was to give fans some much-needed closure, but after its abrupt cancellation in June of 2021, fans were left devastated knowing that the season they were watching would, in fact, be the last of the show as a whole. A bit after the cancellation news dropped, so were their reasons. Fans assumed that the cancellation of the show had to do with rating issues, which would have been unusual considering how well-known the show was. But in the past, other networks of the same caliber have canceled shows with a larger audience. Take, for example, when Fox canceled Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Not to mention that the recent ratings that were released did not inspire much hope in fans at all. So as far as a surface-level explanation goes, fans were upset, but not too surprised when NBC refused to renew the show for a 5th season. In an insider statement, they said that they very much wanted to bring Good Girls back for one more season to close out the story, but were unable to due to being unable to make the financials work. But is there a deeper conspiracy at play here? Even after the cancellation, the show had a set Netflix deal, so even if the live ratings weren't up to par, they were more than okay and would not justify canceling the show. Originally, many fans dismissed the possibility of a deeper story here, but on July 7th, shortly after the cancellation announcement, TVLine released statements citing multiple sources from NBC, Universal Television, and the show itself. This statement spoke less than favorably in terms of on-set solidarity. The statement reported that there was a bunch of behind-the-scenes drama that played an equal, if not greater role when it concerned the show's cancellation. In fact, the show with its star-studded cast was even set to renew for a shortened 5th season, one that would allow it to have more time for a better conclusion and ending. Actresses Christina Hendricks, Mae Whitman, and Retta even agreed to a definitive pay cut to reprise their roles as criminal moms and masterminds, which showcases their immense love for the show and its story. The production was set to start in the spring of 2022, and everything had seemed to be satisfactory, but then where it went wrong. TVLine went a step further to talk about what exactly went wrong. Here, the real culprit that led to Good Girls' untimely cancellation was co-star Manny Montana. Manny plays a fan favorite and integral character, Rio. Rio has gone through a lot in the show. He went from an antagonist gang member to a fun anti-hero. According to reports, Montana had an issue with pay cuts and the scheduling as a whole. This made sense since in the same report, TVLine mentioned that both reps for the actor and for NBC declined to comment, and none of the cast members have mentioned it at all. A source close to the matter contacted E! News and told them that the network itself gave the show every opportunity to come back, as they still wanted to air Good Girls, that the decision to cancel Good Girls was one that the studio made itself due to creative and financial issues. But is that all? If you think about it, money and schedules are not really juicy enough issues to be considered a conspiracy of any sort when it comes to TV shows. So let's talk about the potential real issue that caused the show to be canceled forever. In the same report released by TVLine, the long-standing controversy between Manny Montana and co-star Christina Hendricks was addressed and cited. The controversy states that the pair have a tumultuous and complicated relationship off-screen, not very unlike their on-screen relationship on the show. In an interview with the Total Celebrity podcast that Montana did in 2020, he described his relationship with Hendricks as very businesslike, and that they come in, do their jobs, and then go home. Frosty answers. Another incident that portrays a relationship to be at least mildly hostile took place during a 2020 panel event for Good Girls in New York. She awkwardly shared the tidbit that Manny Montana calls her Chris, a nickname for herself that she despises. She called it stupid, and that Montana had never considered realizing that she does hate it and finds it weird. In an interview with Medium in 2019, Hendricks was asked about the steamy scenes that the pair had to shoot for the show. She kept her answers clipped and professional. Christina claimed that both Rio and Beth have incredible chemistry and that Montana was a great actor, that it was all very respectful work. She went on to say, "You know, it's funny because I know people love talking about Beth and Rio. We, of course, love that. It's exciting and stuff, but it's much more professional than anyone would think." The bad blood between the two actors is somewhat of an open secret in Hollywood circles. Their relationship was hostile enough that even fans picked up hints. They've been speculating about the frosty nature of the relationship and its roots ever since both Hendricks and Montana have been calculatedly cool about the statements they make about each other in interviews and such. Ultimately, the studio canceled the show. But even so, according to reports, it's not like it was impossible to film and produce a final season without Manny Mae Montana. Creatively speaking, it was very possible and almost entirely confirmed in fact, but the studio decided to pull the plug entirely, for one reason or another. Maybe they just perceived the effort to bring fans closure not to be worth the hard work they'd have to inevitably put in. Perhaps it was another reason entirely, but it cannot be disregarded that both fans and cast members were left devastated by this final decision made by the studio. Some people have pointed out the irony of the fact that a show titled Good Girls decided not to pursue a final season due to the absence of a single male support character. It was suspicious to say the least. One source called the decision and the Montana excuse to be an excuse to cut bait. Representatives of both NBC and Universal Television refused to comment on the story, but one company insider eventually conceded to TVLine and admitted that creative issues did indeed factor into the studio's decision not to move forward with the 5th season. Cast members dealing with the show's cancellation. It isn't just fans who get attached to characters in their lives on a particular TV show. Imagine actually playing and understanding the character and getting to be them. It's not a surprise by any means that the cast members of the show, who are rooting for at least a 5th and final season to close up open-ended storylines, were devastated when even that ended up falling through on its end ultimately. One of the lead protagonists, Mae Whitman, even took to social media, specifically Instagram, to lament the loss of the show she'd given years of her life to. Hendricks and Whitman lament the loss of the show. The sweet little caption that Hendricks shared on her Instagram accompanied a meme sort of picture of her covering her fellow co-star Mae Whitman's eyes with her hands on Whitman's face, forcefully shutting them. A scene of the show with a caption on the photo stating, "Good Girls is cancelled at NBC." Under the picture, the caption simply stated that, well, they gave it their all, then she thanked fans of the show for years of passion and support. The picture was a report of one Mae Whitman had posted. Below Christina Hendricks' picture, Whitman commented, "Love you ladies more than anything on God's green." At most, this does confirm that the decision to not renew the show was, for the most part, the studio's. Other celebrities joining in. Not only that, other celebs like Nathan Fillion even joined in with the outrage, expressing his sympathy and empathy with the cast. He validated the cast's efforts, saying that, "You gave it your all to get cancelled?" Nathan went on to talk about his own experiences with the shows he's in getting cancelled. "Take it from me, who's really good at getting shows cancelled without even trying. You've got a long way to go. Meantime, I eagerly await the next opportunity to watch more of your wonderful work." But such is the way of modern media. An influx of content on every streaming site, plus network television, means that competition to be interesting for viewers is tougher than ever. TV shows need to be constantly inspired and creative if they want to keep themselves from being cancelled. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Good Girls. So despite deeper conspiracies and reasons we know not a lot of, let's focus on supporting the shows we love by streaming them and talking about them so they don't suffer a fate such as this. And that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.